The year was 2021. The world was gripped by fear. A virus had forced us all inside. Like millions of others, I found myself with empty hours and a feeling of unease. Loneliness was a constant companion. I longed for something to break the monotony. One day, while scrolling through social media, I stumbled upon an advertisement. It promised excitement and the chance to win big. It was an online casino, bright and alluring. At first, I was hesitant. I had never been much of a gambler, but the lure of easy money and a distraction from the reality of the pandemic was too strong to resist. I made a small deposit, telling myself it was harmless fun. I just wanted to see what it was all about. Little did I know that this seemingly insignificant decision would soon take over my life. The initial thrill was intoxicating. The flashing lights, the spinning wheels, the anticipation of a big win. It was a rush I'd never experienced before. For a few hours each day, I could forget about the pandemic raging outside. I could escape the confines of my own home and enter a world of chance and possibility. I started winning small amounts, which only fueled my desire to play more. The more I won, the more confident I became. I told myself I was lucky, that I had a knack for it. I believed that I had found a way to beat the system, but my luck, as it always does, began to change. My wins became less frequent, and my losses started to mount. What began as a small amusement had transformed into a relentless pursuit. I was chasing losses, convinced that I could win back what I had lost. The more I lost, the more desperate I became. I started spending more time and money on gambling than I could afford. I dipped into my savings, maxed out my credit cards, and even borrowed money from friends and family, always promising to pay them back once I won big. But the big win never came. Instead, I found myself trapped in a vicious cycle of addiction. The guilt and shame were unbearable. I had become a shadow of my former self, consumed by my addiction and unable to stop. I was lying to my loved ones, hiding the extent of my problem. I was breaking promises, betraying their trust and pushing them away. The stress of my double life began to take a toll on my health. I was constantly anxious, unable to sleep or eat properly. I was withdrawing from my family and friends, isolating myself further. I was living a nightmare. The worst part was I knew I was hurting the people I loved the most. Section 5. A glimmer of hope. One day, after a particularly devastating loss, I broke down. I confessed everything to my